Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashuttarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashuttarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashuttarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashuttarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashuttarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Mahabhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarva Bhoma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishimar Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishimar Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. All the associates of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, and all the disciples and followers of those associates Ki Jai. Jai Srila Baladev Vijibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Pad Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal, Gaura Mandal, Vraja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Abhinna Vrindavan Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Rādhā-kuṇḍa Shama Kunda Ki Jai. Shri Amuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai. Shri Gopishwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Our very dear Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja Ki Jai. His very auspicious, bright, onward journey Ki Jai. His auspicious destination Ki Jai. Jai Srila Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Okay, so I'll do a short Mangala Charan and then we'll begin our program. Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Śrī Rādhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam iti vigyaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Kshiptascha kamadittaranga madhye Kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranams again and again at the lotus feet of our beloved Srila Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pavishra Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my pranams to his very dear, intimate godbrothers, Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Vaman Goswami Maharaj and Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj. And then to my Srila Gurudev's very dear friend and Shiksha Guru, Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and to my Param Gurudev and my Srila Prabhupada's dear godbrother, Nitya Śrīpāda Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and unto all of their godbrothers, unto the feet of Śrīpāda Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our Param Gurudev would call him Paramahansa Kula Swami, Śrīpāda Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, and unto the lotus feet of Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and to all of our acharyas coming in this Bhaktivinoda Dhara, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis also following in this line of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And also I offer my pranams to Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja and to all the devotees who have been affected by Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here, please accept my Dandavat Pranam, Vansha Kalpatarubhyashta, Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So we are having, this is our third day of programs in remembrance of Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. And I think also in different parts of the world there have been remembrance festivals happening. I recorded, I live streamed a program that we had at Bhaktivedānta Kunj yesterday here in Mayapur, and Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Padmanabha Maharaj and Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Sajjan Maharaj and many other very senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, they all shared their remembrances. And one thing about today we're joined by Rasanidhi Prabhu. A couple days ago we heard from his wife Jayashri Didi, and the rest of the Boston Sangha, like Shamali and Shamaru Prabhu, who are here with us right now. And one thing, I had it scheduled for Mahābuddhi Prabhu to speak and for some others, but I haven't heard anything. Like I haven't got it. So right now, it's just Rasanidhi Prabhu. There are, if there's anything that you wished that you said before that you missed, then you could have another chance now. Otherwise, there are two other things we could do. One thing I just saw the Gaudiya Rasamrita page. They wrote a little biography about Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, so we could read that. That probably wouldn't take too long. And then I could also speak something. I have some things I'd like to share, but we'll see if there's time. And also one idea, but I'm not sure if we should do this. It's just an idea. But right before, as we all know, right before Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja left his body, just the night before, he started speaking on Rai Ramananda Sambad. And so I have that downloaded on my computer. We could watch a little bit of that, his last Hari Katha. It's just an idea. And actually one idea is to continue that, because he's spoken on Rai Ramananda Sambad multiple times. And so one idea is that, like, at the same time that he does his program, you can make it with these, there's something called live stream and restream. You can make old videos, make it as if they're live. Like you can make them, old videos go live. And I don't know, there's just an idea. I thought it'd be kind of neat to have, at the same time that Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja is giving his class, he can still finish his Raya Ramananda Sambad class from that was just one idea. Anyhow, let's begin our program for today, and I'll hand it over to you, Rasanidhi Prabhu.
Nama Om Gyan Tamarandasya Gyanandana Shlakaya Sakshurat Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gaurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadave Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. I offer all my obeisances. I don't know if I have unlimited, all the obeisances I have to offer to my Diksha Guru, Shriman Mukunda Prabhu, Dasadikari, to my Shiksha Gurus, Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja and Srimati Shamarani Didi, and to Nityalila Pravishta Om Astota Sat Shri Śrīmāda Bhaktivedānta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and Nityalila Pravishta Om Astota Sat Shri Śrīman Bhaktivedānta Swami Srila Prabhupada. To all the Vaishnavas here, and to you, Madhukar Das Brahmachari Prabhu, thank you for so sweetly and enthusiastically arranging this remembrance, this garland of remembrance. losing my voice a little bit as well. So my apologies. Um, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, as Jayashree was speaking, was such a beacon and a star, um, of an embodiment of a servant of bhakti. I was meditating on how I could possibly offer something of value or to glorify him. Some memories came up and also some qualities that I'd like to um, highlight in my time. The first thing um, that Jayashree already shared was the image of him leading Narayani by the hand around Radha-kuṇḍa. And he has such an infectious love of the Dham, and the Dham in all of its places, all of its nooks and crannies, its temples, and especially for the Brajabasis, especially for the people, the residents of Vrindavan, the residents of Mayapur. Everywhere we went, and I have images, pictures of this, he would, with both hands, embrace the pujaris. He would know the pujaris. He would know everyone. He would know the children to the old men and women. He would be invited into homes. He had such a pure love, from whatever I can say of purity, um, for the residents of Vrindavan. And having the great fortune to come from myself to come to India for the first time in this life in 2014, with Jayashree, who was leading her yoga retreats, and being led by Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja on personal parikram. We came right before Kartik, and he led us around personally and was so personable in his the way that he not only spoke and glorified and spoke Hare Kṛṣṇa of the places, but everywhere he went, we would be invited to sit down with the Brajabasis. And that was such an enormous gift. And he was and is such an enormous gift in the tapestry of relationship that I hear is the goal of this path, to come into conscious loving relationship with Krishna, with Radha Krishna, with our Guru Vargya, with the Brajabasis. On that note, on the parikrams, he had such an exquisite value of the moment, of the opportunity that we had, especially being in the Dham. And he was Australian, I think, but then moved to England, I think, very shortly after. There's always a little bit of a mystery to me. But he
I think
had that
actually
British
he's
sense of,
originally from the UK,
aha,
and then he lived in Australia for a long time. But then also he's
acha.
Canadian. He has 3 passports. So I'm confused about it also, but I think he is originally born in the UK. Yeah.
Acha. Well, he would always he would embrace this. He embraced the UK almost militant approach to time and punctuality, but with this joviality, but very serious as well. And every like 6 o'clock, it was 6 a.m. we would leave for parikram, and if we were even 1 minute late walking out of Gopinath Bhavan, he would be there. He would be like this, like, "What are you doing? Like, it is time to go. Like, we're gonna be late." But he did it with such love and affection, and his enthusiasm for just going out and glorifying Radha Krishna in the pastime places. It that combined with his love of the Brajabasis it just gave me such an injection of, they say, we must associate with devotees in order to make progress in bhakti. And I truly felt like he did not hold anything back whatsoever in the association he gave and the enthusiasm he gave. Um, in his love of parikram and serving that, serving Srila Gurudev in that way. He was constantly glorifying Srila Gurudev and constantly glorifying Srila Prabhupada and constantly glorifying his god brothers and god sisters and the Brajabasis, and also instilled in me a loving relationship with time and the value of this opportunity in this life. Um, yeah, I also heard that there's a question about the origin of the the Boston Sangha study group. There's a question that came up on Friday. So I'll recount my memory of this. So, 2014, Jayashree and I came and we led our first yoga retreat. And then 2015, we brought another group, and then we would go around Vrindavan, we'd go to Govardhan, we would stay in his home in Radhakund. And then 2017, we went for Gaur Purnim. And we, right after that, Maharaj was very, and just the service that he's done for so many, just his unbroken stream of kata, right up, as you said, to the very end, glorifying Roy Ramananda Sambad right after leading Navadvip Parikram. He was encouraging us to do some sort of study, and me being the absolute newbie that I am, said, well, why don't we go back to basics? Let's do Upadeshamrita. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And so he set the standards at the time, as he does. And so this was, I think, April of 2017, right after we got back from Navadvip Parikram. And it started out with just Jayashree and I. He gave his time for both of us to go through Upadeshamrita. And keep me honest, Shamarupa, Shamli, I think it was somewhere maybe around verse 7, I think. It became open to, somehow the word got out. I think I forget exactly how that happened, but somehow the word got out, and then Shamarupa, Nimai, Shamali came in on the group, and then we went into Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we started at the beginning. I'm sorry, not Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jaiva Dharma, which it plays also a very important role in the origin of the Boston Sangha. Nimai Chaitanya held for so many years with, obviously with Shamarupa, the study group of the Jaiva Dharma. And Nimai was very inspired by Gurudev. Told him one time, to read it 108 times. And so he's trying to follow through in that instruction. So we wanted to go through it again, but under the guidance of Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. And so we did, and it was, we got up to chapter the early 30s, when we start going into the very deep mechanics of Ras Kata. And I remember, like, we were going through it maybe one chapter a week, and then it slowed down to maybe one page a week. And we'd be getting out so many other books like the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and just cross comparing. And his love of the study was just such another gift. His intellect, the other devotees were describing the maps that he created. He gave so much in terms of service to the understanding and appreciation and relishing of the kata and of these conceptions that our acharyas have and have given us in the form of their books. He had such love of that. And then we transitioned to the Srimad Bhagavatam. But right around that time, our daughter Narayani was born, and the classes had shifted to early time, the opposite. You're getting up Madhukar at 7 a.m. and it's almost 10 o'clock here. It was flipped. So we would get up at 6:30, and then Maharaj, it was better for him to do it in the night. So it was starting to, not quite nighttime, it was getting cooler. So it was better for him and for his health. And we would be there with the baby in bed, turn on the phone, and just try to stay awake and be marinating in the kata. and the my god brothers and god sisters have kept that going, and Maharaj has kept it going, and Jaishree and I still we had tried to tune in when we could. Um, and so anyway, so that's my little maybe filling in some gaps of that story, the origin story of the Boston Sangha study group under Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. But everyone had relationships obviously with him before I came in as the baby of the group, but was so welcomed. And maybe that's how I can bring my remembrance to a close, because I know there's many other Vaishnavas that want to speak. And his trying to feel into it as I'm speaking. He was such a unique personality in that, and so personal. I think that's the thing I want to land on and end on. He embraced me for who I was, and that was both a jiva soul, someone that he saw having some little iota of desire to make progress in Krishna consciousness, made some little effort to make my way to Vrindavan, to want to form a relationship with him, and really brought to life what we hear in the Bhagavad Gita. We take one step towards Krishna, he takes 10 steps towards us. But even more, because Krishna's devotees are infinitely more merciful than he is. He is merciful, but his devotees are causelessly merciful. And so it felt like he took 1,000 steps towards me in every single way imaginable, and was both a teacher and it was shiksha, but also a friend, and both of those things simultaneously. And did something to start to melt the hardness around my heart. And my life is forever changed because of him. And I know that he is, as you said, he is continuing his bright and auspicious journey. I really feel him in my life and the lives of so many devotees, and feel so fortunate to be in the association of devotees that are also feeling that relationship and inspiration, and he touched their hearts. So for that, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak. Thank you again, Manikar Prabhu, for holding this circle, and giving us the opportunity to offer some glorification of this great, great, great Vaishnav, Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. Vanchakalpa tarubhascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavnebhyo namo namaha.
Jai, wow. I really loved the point you were mentioning about well, so many of the points, but especially when you're saying you said infectious love of the Dham, and yeah, it's just reminding me of I heard. Anyone can correct me if I'm getting this at all wrong, but I remember once him mentioning about how he spent some time in Kamyavan. Like usually, when we're doing parikrama, we just go to a place and we leave, but he wanted to like actually spend time there and like really connect with the Dham. So in Kamyavan, and then when he was there in Kamyavan, he was taking notes of all the different species of birds there. And he was really, and he wanted to see all the different animals and species, types of tree, and like he's really wanting to connect with the Dham, not just like for somebody like me, I'm just I'm in an apartment in a like far away from the earth of the Dham, and I hardly go outside. But he was like really going into the Dham and connecting with all the species, all the residents of the Dham. Like you were saying that he was embracing the pujaris there even, and like all the, he's really connecting with the Dham. I also remember, I might have mentioned this already, but when I went on Govardhan Parikrama one time with Amal Krishna Prabhu, and we went to his place in, like when he was staying in Radha-kuṇḍa, another time when he was staying in Radha-kuṇḍa, and he told us about, like he was doing a Govardhan Parikrama regularly, and he said that he's just talking about his affection for particular cows, and there was this one bull at this particular place who was like really old, and he said he felt like a grandfather and really sober, but like he had a sweet, like very personal, unique relationship with even the different cows and bulls and stuff. And before he would go on parikrama, he said that I'll never go out on parikrama without like specific things to give to these specific cows and bulls and on different places. And so he would before he would leave on parikrama, he'd say, oh, I need to bring this for this one, and like he would intentionally bring things to feed them on the parikrama. And yeah, all the virtual parikramas that he led year after year, and he always wanted. You're talking about the maps. He always wanted, not only himself, but he tried to make sure everybody else understood the geography of like where every place is in relation to, just this very. I remember Vaijanti Mala Didi, that is his former wife before he took sannyas. Okay, I might be. Anyways, from what I remember, she said that they would go out, the family, the three of them, with Govardhan. They would go out on. They would just go and leave on a Govardhan parikrama, and they do a full parikrama. And sometimes they would like lay down on the side, like you'd see sometimes different families from Jaipur and like that, just like laying on the side, but they would like live just like Vrajavasis. They lived just as simply as any other Vrajavasi also. Like they had one drain for everything, for cooking, for brushing your teeth, for everything, for everything, like just one drain, and no bathroom. They had to like go downstairs and bring up water. There's no like sink, they had to bring up water from downstairs, and like they lived just like Vrajavasis. And in the summertime they would go to the Yamuna every day to cool off, like in the middle of the summer. They didn't have any kind of AC or any kind of cooling system or whatever, so they just go and swim in the Yamuna and just spend time there in the Yamuna to cool off. And like they just not living, but like really living like one of the residents of the Dham. Like the other Vrajavasis, in no superior way or like that. And yeah, anyhow, and then also you were mentioning about the different groups of devotees, there's the Boston Sangha there, and wow, what is it? Was it like 9 years or something, or 8 or 9 years, regular programs like that, huh? Is it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 9 years. Yeah, it's coming up for the 9-year anniversary.
Wow, amazing. And I'm curious to know, actually, like how many different groups of devotees he did programs with, because I know he did. I've that would be interesting. Like I want to find out, maybe from Rasa Manjari would know, because I know he did regular programs with the Golden Avatar students, like in Navadvip. He's doing regular programs with them. He's doing programs with the Chinese devotees. He was doing programs with, I don't know, like it seemed every day, almost every day of the week. I think towards the end, when he was having all these like really serious heart conditions, still he was doing 6 programs a week, plus programs in person. That I think that was just 6 online programs, and then in-person programs at his place. And even though his heart condition was so serious, and he would still, he never a day would go by without him doing Rādha-kuṇḍa parikrama, full Rādha-kuṇḍa parikrama, even though it was very difficult for him. But and never a day would go by without him chanting 64 rounds, and it was always like that. He never didn't chant 64 rounds, and so even though I think Nimai Chaitanya Prabhu was mentioning on the first day, even though he had such serious health issues, like, I mean, life and death health issues, and like so much pain and so much difficulty, his absorption was never in his body. Like he wasn't, it was just his body and all the problems with his body was just like an annoying hindrance to like what he wanted to be absorbed in. And so like he'd have to deal with it, but his mind was never in it. And so even like when I get sick, when I have a fever or whatever, I'm just like wallowing in my pain and suffering. And I'm just like completely, I feel terrible. And I usually like will try to like watch YouTube videos to numb the pain, like to forget but his absorption is completely in his all his practices in the shastra and the groups of devotees that he's meeting with and like that, and in the dham and going on parikrama. And so yeah, his body was just like something he had to deal with. It's an annoying thing, but yeah, it's just, anyways, thank you so much for sharing those beautiful remembrances.
Hi.
If anybody also, as I said, if anybody would like to share anything more, the devotees I had scheduled for today ended up not being able to join, and so there is some free time. I'm going to read something from, I just saw on Gaudiya Rasamrita. I haven't read it yet myself, but it looked like it was like a short bio of Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. I'm just gonna, one second, let me just open this up. Okay, have it open here now. Okay. So, a journey of devotion, the inspiring life of Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Swami. Have you ever wondered what it takes to completely transform your life, leave behind everything familiar, and cross oceans in pursuit of the ultimate spiritual truth? The journey of the soul is rarely a straight line. Often it calls us away from our comfort zones and into the profound depths of divine love. Today, let's take a moment to reflect on, honor, and dive deep into the extraordinary life and spiritual journey of Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Swami, a remarkable soul whose life story reads like a beautiful roadmap of devotion, surrender, and unwavering dedication to the path of Bhakti Yoga. From the West to the ancient East, the early years. The story begins in the West. Born in 1949 to English parents in Canada, Maharaj entered a world that was rapidly changing post-World War II. It was an era defined by material expansion, yet beneath the surface, a deep spiritual hunger was beginning to stir in the hearts of many. For the first few decades of his life, he walked the conventional paths of Western society. However, the soul always remembers its true home. In 1975, a pivotal shift occurred. He first came into contact with the timeless ancient wisdom of the Vedic teachings. Imagine the profound impact of hearing the philosophy of the soul, the eternal nature of consciousness, and the supreme absolute truth for the very first time. This encounter was not just a passing interest. It was the striking of a match that would ignite a lifelong fire of devotion. Simple living, high thinking. The Australian chapter. To truly understand a philosophy, one must live it. By 1979, the seeds of Vedic wisdom had taken deep root in his heart. He made the courageous and life-altering decision to become a full-time practitioner of Bhakti Yoga. Leaving behind the endless pursuits of modern urban life, he joined a beautiful, tight-knit farming community of devotees in Murwillumbah, Australia. The power of community. Here, he embraced the principle of simple living and high thinking. his daily practice. His days became centered around tending the earth, chanting the holy names, and living in harmony with nature and fellow spiritual seekers. The grounding period in Murulamba was essential. It tested his resolve and built the strong, unbreakable foundation of practical devotional service that would characterize the rest of his life. He was also temple president when he was there in Murulamba, of the New Govardhan community there. This seems like AI about this. Anyways, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, the heart of devotion, moving to Vrindavan. Bhakti is a progressive path, and the soul's ultimate magnet is the Holy Land. In 1991, Maharaj took a step that showcased his profound level of surrender. He, along with his wife and young son, packed up their lives and moved across the globe to take up residence in the sacred, dust-covered lands of Vrindavan, India. Vrindavan is not just a city on a map. For practitioners of bhakti, it is the spiritual epicenter of the universe, the eternal playground of the divine. Yeah, this is definitely AI, but anyhow. Bringing a family from the West to the rustic, intense, and spiritually charged atmosphere of Vrindavan is a testament to an unshakable faith. Vrindavan is where the heart finds its eternal rhythm, beating in time with the divine. Yeah, sorry. Anyhow. It was in this very year, in this holiest of places, that the most defining moment of his spiritual life occurred. He met and began a deeply personal and eternal relationship with his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. Preserving the sacred texts, a legacy of literature. When a disciple meets a genuine spiritual master, the immediate desire is, how can I serve? While remaining in India, Maharaj channeled his immense dedication into a monumental task. He became an instrumental force in helping to publish the various profound commentaries of his Gurudev. His efforts brought to the light of texts like the Bhagavad Gita and the incredibly deep and philosophical Jaiva Dharma to the wider world. By assisting in the publication of these transcendental literatures, he wasn't just printing books, he was preserving a lifeline of pure spiritual knowledge for generations of seekers to come. He was helping to build a bridge of understanding between the profound realizations of his Gurudev and the searching minds of people all over the world. The path of renunciation, embracing sannyas. Spiritual evolution is a continuous process of letting go of the temporary to embrace the eternal. In 2005, recognizing his profound detachment from the material world and his absolute attachment to the mission of his guru, he was awarded the renounced order of life, sannyas. I think they were mentioning he took sannyas, I think it was in 2005. Taking sannyas is the ultimate declaration of freedom from material obligations, dedicating every breath, every heartbeat, and every moment to the divine. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. From that point on, Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī did not keep this treasure to himself. He became a tireless ambassador of divine love. He has since continued to circle the globe numerous times, traveling from continent to continent, city to city. His mission? Teaching the highest truths of the Vedas, discoursing deeply on the esoteric meanings of bhakti, spreading the supreme glories of chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra. His preaching is not just academic, it is imbued with the realization of a lifetime spent in deep practice and humble service. Present day, absorption in Godrum. Today, the journey continues with a quiet, powerful intensity. I wonder when this was written, because it says, Maharaj is presently residing in the deeply sacred area of Godrum, in the Navadvip Dham of West Bengal. Since June 2017, he has chosen to stay in this holy sanctuary, absorbing all his time, energy, and consciousness in various intimate services for his Gurudev. Even after traveling the world and achieving so much, his focus remains entirely on seva, the humble, loving service to his spiritual master. This is the hallmark of a true Vaishnava. His life, from the Canadian suburbs to the Australian farms, to the sacred lands of Vrindavan, and the peaceful groves of Godrum, and in the very end, to the topmost destination, Śrī Rādhā-kuṇḍa. This is a brilliant example that the quest for spiritual truth is the greatest adventure a human being can undertake. Let us offer our deepest respects to Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Swami. May his life of dedication, renunciation, and pure devotion inspire us all to take our own steps towards the divine, wherever we may be on our journey. So I didn't actually read that beforehand. That was a little, anyhow. But yeah, I'm just something. If any, also just so you know, if anybody has any inspiration to share anything more, you're totally free. Just let me know, and I'll give you an opportunity. But yeah, I already spoke this yesterday, but just something about Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja that was really prominent was his own, like everything on the path of bhakti was so, like he was so getting so much relish out of it. It was so like there's an excitement for everything, for chanting, for I mentioned before already, but Vajanti Mala Didi, she said that he used to say that my sense gratification is my Srimad Bhagavatam is like sense gratification. Like he got that much like deep like relish from it. Like, I get sense gratification. For me, sense gratification means like cheesecake and watching videos. For him, like Srimad Bhagavatam was sense gratification. It was like that relishable to him. And yeah, everything and his practices were so like, his sadhana was so strong because there was some relish in it. And so he would, I was actually hearing from Urugai that he would, I was thinking that he's waking up at 2:00 in the morning, but Urugai said that lots of times he'd be waking up at midnight and starting his japa at midnight all the way to, he'd go to sleep really early, like 6 or 7, and then he'd wake up at midnight. And that's when his chanting would begin. So his own personal sadhana forever, so ever since I known him, ever since I was a little kid, was so rock solid and so intense. And so his, that's why his preaching would have, like his Hari Katha and the programs that we do would have such a deep impact on everyone, because that's when there's actual impact. If you're actually living it, then your words have some power. If you're just like me, just talking and stuff like that, but your practice is not very strong, then it doesn't really do anything. But if you're really living it, your life is fully in it, then your words have some potency. And we see how many devotees all over the world. We're just hearing yesterday in the program, there's one Russian lady, just an old Russian lady in a very far away, small village somewhere. It's like small town somewhere that, nobody knows her or anything, and she traveled 30-something miles when she had like this health condition, and the doctors told her not to travel or move, and then like Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja gave her some instructions, and she's talking about how huge of an impact it had on her entire life. And so like people we don't even know about in all different places of the world, like how deeply he made an effect on their lives, like in a real way also. Like it wasn't just a temporary thing, because with most traveling preachers and stuff, everyone will feel inspired for a little while. Like when they come to their town, they'll give some classes. There'll be like a week program, and everyone will feel like really energized and Hari Bol and like that. But then later on, it starts to fizzle out. And also usually with most preachers and speakers, they speak and everyone listens. It's very passive. But with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, I think you could, because I haven't been in so many of his group programs or anything, but you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he probably spent like as much time listening as he as he spent speaking. Like he spent so much time giving everyone a chance to get the opportunity to perform kirtan, because it's through kirtan that we get inspiration for Shravan. They both nourish each other. From Shravan, we want to do kirtan, and through kirtan, then we want to do more Shravan. But if we don't have the opportunity to be able to express, to be able to digest what we heard and be able to express it, then we won't be able to do Shravan properly. And so he made sure everyone had an opportunity, and it was so selfless. Like he was. I remember devotees saying, "Oh, I can't. I'm sorry, I won't be able to join this program because I need to write my summary of this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam." And for every chapter they had to write a summary of. Some people would speak it, I guess, and then some people would have to write summaries, and then he would read them all. And so he spent so much time listening. And the Mahābuddhi Didi, she was talking about that yesterday also. Is like how he really listened. And she felt, and because he listened so well, and he gave her that space to be able to speak, then she was able to express herself, and he gave that opportunity to so many people all over the world. How many people did he give that opportunity to? And what makes this so amazing is that his prominent thing was his own practice. Like there's achar and prachar. Mahaprabhu said to Haridas Thakur, Achar karen keho, na kore prachar. Prachar karen keho, na kore achar. Achar prachar namer koroho dui karya tumi savar guru tumi jagater arya. He said, Mahaprabhu said that some people practice, but they don't preach. They don't share their practice. They don't share anything. And some people, they're preaching, but they don't practice. But oh Haridas Thakur, you do both. You practice and you preach through the name. And therefore, you are the guru of all, and you are Jagater Arya. You are the greatest personality in this world. So, but this is also really, both things were so strong in Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja's life. His achar, his own personal practice, and his prachar. And I remember even when I was young in Gurukul, I think I already mentioned this in a program, but anyways, I'm just going to say it again because whatever. But when I was young, when he was working on, he's working with some devotees on making this chart of the universe chart. And I think I already mentioned how he came there and he explains it in full detail in Brahma Samhita, very vivid detail, and really, he's a very great teacher. Like because he managed to make even kids of all different ages to be able to really get a picture of the whole universe. And he explained it really nicely. And then he gave everyone a big poster-sized sheet of paper, and everybody from their own memory and their own creativity, they had to make that chart. And whoever did the best chart, they'd get a prize at the end. But I remember at that time that even though I was really young, I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was a young teenager, or maybe not even a teenager. I don't remember exactly what year, but I remember at that time getting so excited, like I want to chant a lot, and like all the different practices. Even though I was a kid, I had a whole plan. Actually, I think I even did it, but I didn't follow through. But like there's some part in our property, like a distance away from our from where everybody else was, just like back in the corner far away from everybody, and I set up a tent there, and I wanted to sit in the tent and chant like a lot of Harinam, like become a bhajana Nandi, even though it didn't work, like because I was a little kid and I could, but he made that excitement. Like he made it like, yeah, I want to become a real serious practitioner, like because his absorption, he had that kind of excitement in his own practice, then it would rub off on everybody, and even kids would get excitement in performing their practice really seriously. And yeah, and he was always distributing. He always wanted to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam to everybody. So that was something he'd always do, like giving sets of Srimad Bhagavatam with donations he would get. Then he'd buy sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, but then he would really be on everyone's case that they actually read it. And I already explained that's how my daily program started, was like that. Anyhow, those are just a couple memories. I see there are some other devotees here. I wonder would any of you like to share anything? I want to give others a chance. I see some comments. Okay, I'll just read Manjari's comment. Manjari from Canada. She says, I always noticed the way Maharaj would give comments after anyone spoke on Zoom. Always seemed to show how great he was at listening to every single person. And his comments also always seemed so incredibly encouraging and appreciative of everything everyone said. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. He really, he empowered people. And it's very rare to find somebody who actually is able to do that, to really empower someone and make them feel like, yes, I can do it too. And then feel like pressure also that I need to get my act together. I need to actually take this seriously. I need to, like, he is watching you. I remember my friend's Chandrasekhar, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was checking in with him every morning on WhatsApp to make sure what time he would wake up, and like Chandrasekhar would check in with him every day to let him know if he woke up late or if he woke up what time, so that he had to, he was held accountable, and he'd do this kind of thing for so many devotees, really making sure. I'm seeing Krishna Prema Bhakti Didi. Also, if any of you want to speak this directly instead of me reading it, they're totally. This is an open space. Anybody, you can just unmute yourself and jump in anytime. But I also don't want to put anybody on the spot, so let me know if you want to. But Krishna Prema Bhakti Didi said that he offered me the opportunity too, but I was not ready to commit to the depth study of Srimad Bhagavatam. But I still appreciate the 3 sessions I had with him. He gave me the foundation for studying deeply and expressing my understanding and realizations. Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki jai. Jai.
And this is something that we shared.
Yes.
With Tridaṇḍī. Yes. I told him the story of how I joined and why I joined the movement. And I had to come back. This 1970. The end of 71, beginning of 72, I had just come back from England, and I had started the tour in America. I came from Buenos Aires. Anyhow, everywhere I went, the devotees were chanting. So my exposure to chanting was, there all the time, but nobody really explained the philosophy to me. So when I came back, I went to England, and again, I would meet the devotees and like that. And most of my generation, the youth, were thinking devotees were fanatics, or they didn't treat women too well. Anyhow, so I kind of sort of stayed away, but I couldn't really stay away. A lot for shadow and everything. But I shared with him that when I went back to Buenos Aires, I met this sannyas that was in the corner. And my idea was to, go back to America, gather some money, and then go down to Patagonia and had an ahimsa farm. I was vegetarian then too. Anyhow, he asked me to translate. He said, "I'm going to speak." So first time I did, his lectures were 3 times a week on Bhagavad Gita as it is. But what really also, and that was just blew my mind. I said, well, I got to join. This is the best thing that could happen to humanity. But, this I shared with him, and he was like, wow, yeah. But one thing that really also we hit it off was that our love for Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what, when I start reading, the Maharaj started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And I was, like I said, I came back from it. I was just so disappointed with society at large. It just, I I watched TV until, all night, and woke up by noon. I was staying at my parents' house, and but all of a sudden I hear Bhagavatam. So I got up at 4 a.m. My father would get up at 4 a.m. every day. And he looked at me and said, what happened to you? I mean, you're leaving now every day. About 4:30 was the first subway that I could take, to go to the temple and listen to Śrīmāda Bhagavatam. That's just like, it was amazing, Prabhupada, I went to college, we had like maybe 2 pages on Vedic culture. And that was it, they mentioned the Upanishads and Puranas and like that. And then we had like chapter after chapter of Greek, history and the Roman history. So when Prabhupada in the first couple of pages said, I love history, and Srila Prabhupada brought it to a focus, and we were talking about that with Tridaṇḍī Swami, how history of the world just then became, that link was closed, that we felt there was something missing there. And obviously by our Western culture, especially the British, they didn't make sure that this Vedic culture didn't really come to the West. And actually there was death penalty to go to Simla and be a preacher. They wouldn't allow preachers to come in. But anyhow, I just remember you mentioning about his love for Bhagavatam and how he was his sense enjoyment. It became mine too, we were sharing that. I was just so enthralled, that, like I said, my life turned 180 degrees. And so we shared this and so many things like that. And so that came to mind. And sorry, I didn't mean to focus it on me, but I just wanted to, this is what we shared, we talked about. We're good friends, became good friends. And our mutual loves, they were there. And also that we did similar services. I was Pujari at Krishna Balaram and Lalita and Vishaka. And he was too. And I'm sure he did super Paka service. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to, that I don't know if I mentioned that, about Bhagavatam. And you mentioned it again, gave me the inspiration to say something. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Hare Bol. Thank you. So we've now, it's now been an hour. And so maybe, I'll give another chance if anybody wants to share anything else. You're fully welcome to share anything. Otherwise, we will wrap up today's program, and then I'm still working out with the Bhakti Zoom team. We'll have programs at other times, I think, also, so that for people in other time zones, they'll also be able to share something. And as I mentioned before, there is a form which you can find if you go to Facebook, Bhakti Zoom, the Bhakti Zoom page on Facebook, you'll find a form there. And then we can organize, where to fit in everybody, what time zones and all that. All right, so let me look at the comments really quickly here on Facebook. Okay, Nicola Wagner, I'm not sure what if you have a devotee name, but she says, these homages are very endearing and definitely gives an extremely clear picture of a life well lived, a person of huge generosity and depth, and not a stitch of insincerity, not a whiff of false prestige. Bless him. Yeah, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja is both of those qualities, so generous. So generous. I think I already mentioned about when, anyways, I don't want to keep on talking about myself. But yeah, so generous and very real. And so then everybody, you could feel that's the thing, even though he had such a high standard, he was so paka in his own life, because he was so genuine and so real and so just, I don't know, he had a very big heart and he's very open. So then I don't know. I think a lot of people felt like this, that you felt relaxed with him. You didn't feel like, I don't know, like, even though he could be really heavy and intense, and like sometimes even have disagreements with him and things like that, but still there's a feeling of comfort with him, like you didn't have to hide, anything, and like you didn't feel judged, or even if he was like heavy on you, you didn't feel like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but there's something that you still felt comfortable, even all your shortcomings, and even if you're struggling in basic sadhana and stuff like that, he still made you comfortable to like be able to express everything. You didn't have to hide anything. Krishna Premabhati Didi saying, Dina Bandhu Prabhu from ISKCON mentions to me that Maharaj did the worship in Vrindakund decades ago when the pujari broke his leg. Does anyone know about that here?
Yeah, her name was Nanda Patni, the one you just read.
The letter that Kusha wrote
and
to
I just read a letter from Kusha about
our god sister.
Taking over being the pujari, and
for 2 months. Actually,
yeah.
probably at the risk of his own life, because the pujari there was beaten up, his leg was broken. He suffered an attack. I mean, someone attacked him. I don't know what it was, but anyhow, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja took over. So she sent us a note, Kusha Devi. You know how it was sad, but at the same time glorious and happy that how he passed. But he was that he did for 2 months. Just himself alone, he maintained the worship of Vrinda Devi.
Wow, very nice. So many details I never knew about. Oh. All right, so yeah, it's now we're at 1 hour 8 minutes, 1:08. I think this is a good time to end now, unless anybody has anything to share. But yeah, one thing with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, like Rasanidhi Prabhu was explaining, he was very timely, very very on top of time. Everybody he was very punctual. So maybe we can end our program today, and there'll be many more days of programs ahead. So if anybody, anytime, even if you don't feel ready yet, but then after a few days you feel like, okay, now I want to say something, feel totally comfortable to reach out to me or Yashodhari or Turun Krishna Prabhu, or actually better, you can reach out to me directly, but also better you can go to the Bhakti Zoom page on Facebook, and let us know your time zone and your availability. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna.
I'm sorry. One little thing. I've been in touch with Mahābuddhi Prabhu, and he's back in US, and his time zone is like it's like almost 10 p.m. when you begin the program. So
9:30,
that might be the case. That why
I messaged him and I told him the time before, and then he said that would work. And then he was supposed to be on today, and then I don't know what happened. I sent him a WhatsApp message, and anyhow, we'll work it out. We heard from his brother yesterday.
Right. Okay, because he was we both were like, we were.
Yeah, and I think Mahābuddhi Prabhu and Bopadev and Nemi Maharaj, they were all with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja just not so long ago, and they were with him.
I was invited. I was gonna go, but I had done a long journey. My body had that's all I can take. So I told them that I couldn't come this time, and Maharaj expressed, said, no, it's great you don't come right now, because I want a one-on-one, with both of you. Say my love to Vatarini. I'll send you the recording. It's okay that he didn't come, because there were so many. There was 100 Russian devotees that came from ISKCON, and they asked him to speak. And then Nemi Maharaj, Mahābuddhi, and Bopadev, they were visiting. So it was, but he always nice to have time for everyone. Look all the things that he's done, the services, and he was able to do. So I'm happy that Dinabandhu Prabhu, our godbrother, had mentioned something about him like that, and also Kusha. So dear godbrother and god sister loves. All glories to Maharaj, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja.
I think Mahābuddhi Prabhu says that he has, I think, some pictures and videos that he wants to share of that last meeting when they went on Rādha-kuṇḍa together, he said.
Right, he mentioned. Okay. So, looking forward.
Right. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki Jai. Just one quick thing I'm thinking right now. Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, he spent so much of his energy and time really looking at so many devotees all over the world and like with so much care and making sure that they were serious about their practice and that they were understanding what they're reading. They were also understanding the big picture, zooming out, being able to understand the flow of Śrīmad Bhagavatam and understand the geography and, really being able to get a full picture and spending time every day with reading Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jaiva Dharma, all these literatures of our Goswamis, and making sure that we're chanting every day, waking up early in the morning, like really following the life of a sadhak. So because he gave so much energy in helping everyone in this way, then the best way that we can honor him is to really try to take, this is what he spent his life doing, and now that he's no longer with us, what's the best way that we can honor him with? That we continue trying to follow, what he was encouraging everyone to do, that we can also every day read some Śrīmad Bhagavatam, try to make sure we're understanding it, share it with others, and take our spiritual practices seriously. I mean, he'd be very disappointed with me over these past 3 days. I have not been finishing my rounds. I've been totally a bit overwhelmed. He would not be at all happy. So I'm actually just thinking of this for myself, my God, I need to get my act together. If I really want to, show him appreciation and honor, then I really have to get my act together. And so that's just why that thought came to my head. But yeah, Krishna Premavati Didi saying, I would love to see some of the devotees who studied under guidance of, we heard from the Boston Sangha, but there's so many other Sanghas around. So we'd to set up the system, he used to guide devotees wanting to study Śrīmad Bhagavatam in the same way. Yeah. So I think this is my next thing I'm going to try to. We've got the Boston Sangha, now I'll try to see different Sanghas, and we can see how he inspired these groups in all these different ways, and the different programs that he used to do with them. All right. Jai Śrīla Guru, Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Rādhā Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Guru Dev Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Param Guru Dev Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedānta Thakur Ki Jai, all the acharyas in this line of Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur Ki Jai, Jai Shri Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Śrī Rādhā-Kuṇḍa Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Śrī Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Śrī Rādhā-kuṇḍa Ki Jai, Jai Abhinna Vrindavan Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Jai Hare Kṛṣṇa Maha Mantra Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Rasanidhi Prabhu, Krishna Prema Bhakti Didi, whoever that is, RG115, watching on your phone, Indira Mataji, Champak Mataji, Indrajit Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Manjari Didi, Krishna Maya Didi. Oh, Nimai Chaitanya Prabhu, I didn't see you there before, Prabhu. Haribol. Dandavat pranams. Thank you for all of you in the Boston also staying up so late. And I see Puleshwari Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, and Nicola Wagner, Vidyalalasa Didi, Ganga Mataji, and Śrīpāda Bhaktivedānta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja is saying, yes, the best way to honor him is to take deeply the example he set and apply it in our own sadhan and preaching. Ah, beautiful. Yes, wonderful words to end this program on. And I see many other devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. If you leave comments, then I see your name. So I'm not ignoring any of you, but I see many devotees who are there. And also so many devotees will be watching in the future. I know Shachi Devi, Jayadeva Prabhu, Krishna Vallabha Didi, Ananda Pradayani Didi, Anuradha Mataji, and Madan Gopal Prabhu, and so many other devotees will be watching in the future. So pranams to all of you, and see you all tomorrow for our next program. Haribol. Dandavat pranams.
Prabhuji, one quick
thing.
Talking about Śrīmāda Bhagavatam, and there it's gone now here in Vrindavan for 7,500 rupees. I got the complete Śrīmāda Bhagavatam unedited. It's not like Prabhupada wrote it with the same pictures and like that.
But it only goes up to 10th.
It goes to up to whatever he translated in the 10th canto. It is not, 11th canto or 12th because he didn't do them, but Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada, untouched books, unedited, they're available.
Okay, so if anyone wants to purchase Śrīmāda Bhagavatam, or also following Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, if they want to gift Śrīmāda Bhagavatam to somebody else, remembering how he used to do that all the time, then it's available there. 7,500 rupees said. So yeah, you can share in Vrindavan.
Yes. And I want to thank you too, because I remember years ago when you started the Śrīmāda Bhagavatam, it was so wonderful, be able to read, and you were reading from, Prabhupada's books, from the Śrīmāda Bhagavatam. So.
Oh, and you gave so much encouragement, you being there, you and Bhavatarani Mataji being there, and that was 100%, that whole program was, as I mentioned before, was 100% thanks to Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. He was the one who started that, so that definitely wouldn't have happened without him.
Right, thank you. So we just find out, you were telling us this. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
And I see Bilbo Mangal Prabhu's wife is there, Shama Didi from Bangalore. Haribol. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Okay. All right, Dandavat pranams. See you all next time.